Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sat means truth, logos means a study or science, Sattology means a science of truth, a study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which means a science of fake lie imagination or study of fake lie imagination. So today we are talking about Chitrakoot. Very wild, very beautiful descriptions of Chitrakoot are there. It was chosen purposely, it was told by Shatbringa Rishi for Sri Ram, Lakshman, and Sita to stay there. Beautiful ashram, and it has descriptions about waterfalls, elephants, animals, different types of birds, trees, very detailed description of plants, and all of them are found in Chitrakoot. And there is a small lake also on the hillside. So with such accurate description, today we'll go on a journey. A very special guest who always comes and who has shared so many wonderful presentations through pictures, his own pictures. Without delay, let us welcome Sri Rajesh Kumar Singh.
Namaste Aditya ji and namaste everybody. It's pleasure again to meet you virtually. So as Aditya ji is telling you, start my presentation. I'll be talking about Chitrakoot today. Can you see it on screen?
Not yet. We don't see that.
Now I think now you can see.
Now you can see, yes.
Okay. So we'll again be talking about Ramayana. That is the story of Ram. As a saint says, Tulsidas ji says, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Hari means Bhagwan Vishnu. And he comes on the earth to protect, as per our belief system in Sanatan Dharma, time and again to protect the Dharma. That is the righteous work. So Rama is the avatar. And last talk I discussed about Kiskindha. Today I will be talking about how Sita and Ram and her and his wife Sita, they chose Chitrakoot and spent there, and why Chitrakoot is important. And it's not that it's a literary creation only. It has a historical value. It's had great historical value, and that we need to understand about Indian cultural aspect, that Ramayana and Mahabharata are not only poems, epic poems, but they are the true representation of the society of that time and the value which we stand for. So where is Chitrakoot? Just for your benefit, most of you would not have heard about it, but this is a map which depicts the states of the Indian in the country. In the present political map, you can see number of states are there. And Chitrakoot is an area in Bundelkhand. The region is known as Bundelkhand because later period, in medieval period, Bundelas were ruling that place. So it is known on the land of Bundelas. So there on the border of Madhya Pradesh, Madhya means center, the Madhya Pradesh, state of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. This place is there. So its geographical extent crosses or is spread over these two states. However, Chitrakoot is in modern time is also a district, that is the administrative unit under a state. So why it is important? It's important, as you may recall, that Bhagwan Ram, his wife Mother Sita, and his brother Lakshmana, they, because of the boon which was given to one of the queens, that is Kaikeyi, by King Dasarath of Ayodhya. So just in honor of that, the Rama moved in exile to forest for 14 years. So that story or the detail or that historical facts you all know. So they started from here, the Ayodhya, where Ram was born and where Dasratha and later on Rama also ruled. They traveled to a place known as Prayagraj. Earlier, some few years back, it was known as Allahabad, but Prayagraj is the oldest name. And it is also mentioned in Ramayana, that is the Valmiki Ramayana. Prayag means confluence of river. So when they reach here, after crossing Ganga, and they reach the ashram, that is the hut of sage Bharadwaj. And it is very important when Bharadwaj welcomes him and treats him well and asks that, where are you moving to? Of course, Rama tells the very purpose of moving. And then he says, as per Valmiki Ramayan, Ekante pasya bhagavata ashram sthanam uttamam ramate yatra vaidehi sukharya janakatmaja. So Valmiki describes it in Ayodhya Kand, the chapters in which Ramayana is divided. So the second chapter is Ayodhya Kand. First one is the Bal Kand, a chapter which is dedicated to the childhood of Bhagwan Ram and his brother. And then next one is Ayodhya Kand. So there, Sri Ram requests Rishi Bharadwaj, sage Bharadwaj, saying, Ekante pasya bhagavata. He is addressing with honor. He is saying him Bhagwan or Bhagavata. That is respectfully. We always address our elders, and that is our culture, which which has inherited by respective generations, successive generations till date, those value systems. So he is very humbly, politely, respectfully requesting sage Bharadwaj, O Rishi, O Bhagwan, Ekante Pashya. Ekante means in solitude, where not much disturbance is. Just Pasya means just see. Ashram Sthanam Uttamam. We need a place. Uttama means a very good place for constructing our ashrama. Ramate Yatra Vaidehi, where Vaidehi is the daughter of the Vide, which is no other than Sita. So it is very important. There is another thing which I will highlight, that in Indian tradition, Indian culture, you see, the son would be named or will be called after the mother. Lakshmana will be called as Saumitreya, the son of Sumitra, while the daughter Sita is called Janaki, that is the daughter of Janak, or Vaidehi, that is the daughter of Videha. Janak, the ruler of the Mithila, the father of the Sita, was known by both the names, Videha and Janak, and they have importance for that. So Rama says, Ramate Yatra Vaidehi Sukharya Janakatmaja. Janakatmaja means the daughter of the Janak, who deserves, Sukharya, who deserves to live in a comfortable place. So Rama is very careful, is concerned about the comfort of his wife. So you will see in Ramayana, those who would study, that Rama as a husband is very caretaking person, and he loves and takes care of it. And this comes in this slope. So he asked sage Bharadwaj that, O Bhagwan, kindly suggest us a place in solitude where we can build our hut or ashram, and the place is worth the stay of Sita, who is a princess. So then Bharadwaj Rishi tells Rama that you can stay here, you can stay very comfortably in my ashram. This is also at a very good place. Of course, Prayagraj, where river Ganga and Yamuna, they meet, and on the bank of that confluence is the ashram of the Bharadwaj. And that is the place here, Bharadwaj, where you can see. But Rama says, "Oh sir, oh Bhagwan, if we stay here, then people from Ayodhya would keep on coming to meet me and Vaidehi, and then we will not be able to remain in solitude and would won't be fulfilling the desire of our father, that is Dasharatha, to stay in forest or in exile." So he politely says that it would have been our pleasure to stay in your ashram. However, kindly suggest us some other place. So says Bharadwaj, then says that you move from here about 60 miles, a place is there which is known as Chitrakoot. So from Prayagraj, he directs this place, which is Chitrakoot here, and geographical location I have already indicated in the map. And in the figure, you can say they are Ram, Sita, and Lakshman. They are moving towards that place. He describes the details. Valmiki goes on describing in detail about Chitrakoot, that how nice that place is. It's full of greenery. It's full of all creatures who are living there happily, birds, animals, including elephants. There are river. And to just sum up how he tells the importance of Chitrakoot is, Yavata Chitrakutasya Narah Sringani Avekshate Kalyanani Samadhatte Na Pape Kurute Mana. He describes in detail about Chitrakoot. And then he tells, O Ram, Yavata Chitrakutasya Narah Sringani Avekshate. Yavata means till people see the Sringani, the peaks of the Chitrakoot. Till that time, they indulge only in Kalyanani Samadhatte. They indulge only in virtuous act. And na pape kurute mana. Their mind or heart does not indulge in act of sin. So such is this place. It's not only beautiful, but it's so pious because of this setting that till people keep seeing the nearby peaks of the Chitrakoot, they will only do virtuous acts and they will never commit any sin or any bad act. So that's the kind of importance Valmiki has narrated when he is writing Ramayana. So you see, this place has been in existence much before than Valmiki, because Valmiki himself was staying there. When Bharadwaj suggests this place and Ram, Sita and Lakshmana move towards that place, they go and meet Valmiki who is staying there. So Ram still is contemporary of Valmiki, and Valmiki himself and other sages are staying there. And Bharadwaj, who stays in Prayagraj, he gives or narrates such an importance for Chitrakoot. So now we will come to Chitrakoot, how it looks presently, and what are the tales which are related to it. So when Ram and Lakshman, along with Sita, they reach here, so they meet a sage Atri and his wife Anusuya. So here in the picture F1 you can see this is Anusuya's ashram. Sage Atri and Anusuya are sitting here, and Ram, Lakshmana is of course standing, and Sita are sitting at a lower place. Even though Ram is an avatar, is an incarnation of Vishnu, but you see the kind of respect we give to our elder, because sage Atri and Anusuya are elder to Ram, Sita and Lakshmana. So they are shown to be sitting in ashram at a higher place. So this is the kind of respect we show to them. Now Tulsidas I'll be talking uh, or taking examples of the chaupais, four-liners from Tulsidas, who composed Ramcharitmanas in the language of the people who could be understood much easily. So he says, Nadi Punita Purana Bakhani, Atri Priya Nij Tap Balaani. This river, this river is described in the Puranas. That is, we have a lot of Puranas, you know. So they have been described in Puranas. And Atri Priya, Anusuya, who is dear to Atri, means his wife, because of his pious act, she had brought this river for the benefit of the people. And this river is mentioned there, Surasari Dhar Nau Mandakini. So this river, where you can see in Chitrakoot, even at present time, if you go there, that river is there. So this is also mentioned in Valmiki Ramayan and then in subsequent versions and Ramcharitmanas, I'm telling you. And see, since these places have great value for us, so a lot of temples have been built along the river and in some other places where people go for pilgrimage and to pay their respect and pray there. So this Anushuya Ashram you can see in Chitrakoot. Now I talked about Pandakini River. When you sit there, you can see the beautiful place, and there are a lot of places which are correlated with Rama's stay there. So when Ram reaches there, even Tulsidas describes that he meets Valmiki, and Valmiki says, Chitrakoot giri karahu nivasu, tah tumhara sababhat supasu. O Ram, Chitrakoot, you stay in Chitrakoot, you have come here, and this place is the most suitable for you. So you will be very comfortable. So out of the 14 years for which Ram, his wife and brother were in exile, about 12 years they devoted or stayed in Chitrakoot. So that's the kind of importance which Chitrakoot has. And you can see that there are places which are associated with it, and they have also been depicted in the art form. So here you can see in figure 1, the river Mandakini is there from east side and it flows in west side to the city. So that you can see in figure F2. And figure F3 shows a stone platform which is known as Sphatik Shila. Sphatik means stone, Shila means a platform, where it is believed that Ram, Sita and Lakshman they used to sit there, relax there and come to the river for prayer, etc. So this place is associated with them and people go, and that has been marked there and offered their prayer. And in the art form, if you see, a lot of sages, they would offer whatever they have fruits in the Chitrakoot to the two brothers and the daughter of Videha, that is Sita. And here you can see with the local people, tribals, Ram, Sita, they have staying and comfortably sharing whatever is there. So they spend their comfortable time there. Now there is another place which is known as Gupt Godavari. Gupt means hidden, and Godavari is the name of a pious river which now flows in Maharashtra. So it is believed that because of the need of Sita, Rama brought this river Godavari here, and there are other important places also. But geographically, what is very important is that it's a natural cave that would have existed that time also. And when you go now, you can see in figure F1 and then a longer view in F3 and at the narrow end, it is lit, but you have to wade into water. So there is a water up to knee here. And then of course it is believed that Ram, Lakshman and Sita would go there and they will indulge into meditation there. And this place is known as Gupta Godavari. People can go. And now we have a statue there. Ram, of course, is shown in light blue sham color. And his wife and Lakshman in a fair color is shown here. That is the traditional representation here. Now, while Ram, Sita, and Lakshman, they came from Ayodhya, they started living here. When the Rama's brother Bharat, he was staying in with their maternal uncle and father. So he was not in Ayodhya when Ram was exiled. So when he came to know about this, so he did not become happy that Bharat himself would be made king and Rama had been exiled. This was like a shock to him. So he immediately, after cremating his father, who has died of the shock, and that's why Bharat was called immediately from coastal. So, Kaikeya Pradesh. So when Bharat comes back to Ayodhya, he, Shatrughan, the ministers, the three mothers, they all started moving towards Chitrakoot to convince Ram that you have to come back. It can't happen that Bharat will become king and Ram will live in exile. But Ram, here you can see in figure F1 in art form, the two brothers are meeting. This is popularly known as the union of the Bharat and Ram, and is very great impact in Indian tradition. And in Chitrakoot also you see a temple here, which is known as Bharat Mandir, or the temple dedicated to Ram and Bharat. Now the impact of this is felt throughout India. And the stories of Rama is depicted in different way. So here I have taken one example from Varanasi. There is a place known as Nati Imli there, where the community celebrates this with great fervor and great enthusiasm. Here you can see that in the figure 1, Ram and Lakshman are shown to be in Chitrakoot symbolically, and Bharat and Shatrughan in figure 2 are coming towards them to meet them. And then here in the figure 3 you can see Bharat has bowed down to pay his respect to Rama, and Shatrughan and Lakshman are meeting. And after they, in this figure, they hug each other, they are shown together in this picture. So this is such an important incident which happened in Chitrakoot that it is celebrated as a major incident when Ram's story is narrated. And Ram says, when Ram sees this character of Bharat, Tulsidas, he describes, he is saying to his guru, that is Vasishtha, Ram tells his guru Vasishtha, Nath sapath pitu charan dohai. O teacher, O guru. Rama is addressing to Vasishtha. I swear to your name and my father Dasharatha's feet, paying respect to him. Bhaye unna bhuvan bharata samabhai. Bhuvan means the world. There is no other brother which would have taken birth in this world who is like Bharat. So that is the kind of character, or that's the kind of value system we had in Indian tradition, that there is a brother or there is a son who, just for the sake of his father's commitment to his wife, leaves the kingdom, comes in exile, and there is another brother who doesn't become happy to know that he will be coronated as king. He immediately rushes to meet Rama to convince him so that Ram could become king. And this incident occurred in Chitrakoot. So that's the importance of the Chitrakoot. The first important thing is that Ram, Sita, and Lakshmana stayed there for 12 years out of 14 years after having chosen it as the place to stay. And of course, this incident occurred, the Bharat Union, which is a very landmark incident in the tale of the Rama. And since Rama doesn't agree to go back to Ayodhya to become king, Bharat says that I would never become king. I can't. That cannot happen. That you stay in forest with my mother like sister-in-law Sita and my brother Lakshmana, younger brother Lakshmana, and I stay in the comfort of kingship and enjoy it. No, it cannot ever. If at all you ask me to become king or so I will take care of Ayodhya as your representative. And for this reason, kindly give your sandals to me. So here in the picture, you can see figure 1. Bharata requesting Rama to give his sandal, and this theme has been depicted in figure F2 and F3 in terracotta and pictures. And in figure F4, this is a bronze statue which depicts when Rama gives the sandal to Bharata after a lot of hesitation. And this hesitation is represented, of course, by Valmiki and Tulsidas also. And I'll again recite that chaupai from Tulsidas. Bharat Seal Guru Sachiv Samaju, Sakut Saneha Bibas Raghuraju, Prabhu Kari Kripa Pavari Dinhi, Sadara Bharat Shees Dharili. Rama, after hesitation, because his elders are also there, and Bharat is insisting, he is hesitant to give his sandals. But Prabhu Kari Kripa Pavari Dinhi. Ram, after some hesitation, he gives his sandals, Pamari Dini, he gives his sandal, Sadar Bharat Shees Dharalini, and Bharat, with respect, keeps it above his head. He carries his head. That is the kind of the respect. So this bronze statue, the sandals are of course missing here, so that Bharat has kept the sandals with full respect. So there is a great linkage between the tales, as I have been describing the different themes, the geographical existence, and the value system. So there is a continuous bonding amongst these things. So to say that these things never existed will not be correct. So when you go to Chitrakoot, there are a lot of places. One famous place is Ram Ghat. So at Ram Ghat, you can see now over the period, it's a pilgrimage. So many Bhagwans depicted here. You see Hanuman, Bhagwan Hanuman here. Along, when you travel to this part, you see a lot of boats, people cross here, pray to the temple. And Tulsidas, who composed Sri Ramcharitmanas, he stayed here. He came here and he stayed here after composing Ramcharit Tulsimanas in Assi Ghat of Tulsidas, in Kashi, that is Varanasi, another, the most historical city. So he came to Chitrakoot because Ram has stayed here for 12 years in the belief that one day Ram will occur and give darshan to him. So, and there is a very famous thing which is said that Chitrakoot ke ghat par bhai santan ki bheer, Tulsidas chandan ghise, tilak det Raghubir. It is believed that Tulsidas, who is denoted by picture 1, saint poet Tulsidas, he is grinding the sandalwood. Sandalwood is used to offer to our deities, to God, to Bhagwans. And he sees, he doesn't notice, what he sees that two beautiful, handsome boys come there and they start putting the sandalwood on their forehead. So Tilak Dei Raghubir. And Tulsidas doesn't know who are these young boys. Then Sri Hanuman, he tells Tulsidas that these two boys are no other than Ram and Lakshman. And then the desire of Tulsidas becomes true, that on the very banks of the Chitrakoot, where he has been residing in this desire to meet his Bhagwan, he comes and gives an audience to him. So, what you shall understand is that to not read these books, that is, or epics, or understand originally Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, and other things, and just say that these places are not related with some historical thing is not correct. Because in India, you see, I have shown you in my last talk about Kiskindha, when Ram moves further from Chitrakoot to Panchavati and further south to Kiskindha with modern northern Karnataka. So these places have been described in Ramayana, the very original epics. Until date, they are associated with the belief which we carry from our ancestors. And they have also been depicted in art forms, to paintings, in folklore, in those places, and in temples which are relatively modern. So I think you would have enjoyed this narration about Chitrakoot, a very historical and beautiful place, which is so important for us. And we have been able to correlate it through our written treatise and art forms also. Thank you very much.
Rajesh ji, such a beautiful presentation on this thing, because on Chitrakoot. The Chitrakoot is described so wonderfully. The good experience which Sri Ram, Lakshman and Sita had over there. Sita Mai loved over there also a lot. And when they went to Dandakaranya forest, they went through the entire Dandakaranya forest and came back to Chitrakoot to stay there.
Yeah.
And nearby they went to Chadavringa Rishi, Sutikshana Rishi, and all the other rishis in Dandakaranya. And also freed all of them from the Ravana's armies who were disturbing.
Many demons who were troubling them.
Yes. So one of the things which really reminds me, because in Chitrakoot, the waterfalls, the description of waterfalls is so beautiful. Even today they are there.
Yeah, when you move from river Mandakini near Kamadgiri and other places, they are there.
They're there. And also many large animals like elephants still there, right?
Elephants won't be there because see what has happened. I mean, it's many thousand years. I mean, at least 3,000 years. So over a period, this forest stretch have got reduced with increasing population. But as I showed you, that river is there, and wooded places are also there, and pilgrims do come. And in nearby area in Kamadgari, etc., you find a lot of other creatures. Elephants may not be there now, but they have been described very well in by Valmiki and Tulsidas also.
So how can people call this a mythology now? Because so many proofs are there.
Yeah, I mean, we never thought that it will. I mean, Valmiki would not have thought it. See, Valmiki himself is writing about his stay and also of Ramayana, and Bharatwaj provides the distance also. And as I have shown you in the map, from Ayodhya, they cross Ganga. Ganga is there. They come to Prayagraj, and Prayagraj is described as a confluence. And then they cross Yamuna, and Ma Sita offers prayer and say that Mother Yamuna, when kindly give this boon to us, that we shall come healthy and hale with my husband and my brother-in-law. Everything is described there in Ramayana.
Yes.
And and incidentally, I devoted 8 years in Prayagraj when I was doing my BTech and I was teaching also. So I have seen these places, and you move in that direction, which Bhardwaj tells you. You go to Chitrakoot, River Mandakini is there. So how can negate everything?
Yeah, I mean the crossing of the river exactly is still there. Still everything is there. Like
Yes, yes.
and that sequence you follow.
Even Bhardwaj Ashram is there.
Bharadwaj ashram is there.
Ah.
So please, all the viewers, there is one book of mine, Global Footprint of Ramayana, in which I have also described in detail, available in India, and people can see it over there. And exactly you will be shocked that the Valmiki Ramayan accurately captures the geography of the land. Rivers have changed little bit path, but not so much. Rivers are still there, but path has been changed. Some rivers, but still it is there. Everything is there. Thank you so much, Rajesh ji. It just reminded me. I visited Chitrakoot many years back, and it just took me back over there. Beautiful place. If anyone wants, people they say we are going to Switzerland and this land. Most beautiful places in the world are in India. All over the world, people come to India to visit India.
And you
So
get added advantage of visiting a place which has so many high standards of civilization related to them.
that's
I
right.
mean, the value systems are so high.
So
And see, we didn't know how they have been transferred when we grew. I mean, these value systems were transferred from our parents because it's because of Ramayana.
that's right. That's right. So not only you will see the place, but you'll also go deep into the culture, which is already there, and you can experience it. And a lot of people do a lot of seva there. There are eye camps running. There are people who want to join eye camp to help people, local people. There are hospitals there. There's a hospice also there now, which was started by a very close family friend of mine from Bombay. They're big industrialists, and so a lot of things there in Chitrakoot, which you can go. Not only is beautiful place, but also a lot of good spiritual credit also you can see over there. So thank you, Rajesh ji, and thank you for this wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya ji, and
Namaskar.
thanks to everybody in the audience.
Namaskar.